what's up, everybody? This is Let's Talk from GCA. I'm your host, Mr. Montgomery. To the left of me is our counselor, Miss Kochi. Did I say your name right?
Yes, Miss Kochi.
Kochi, I'll get it right one day. To a little further to the left of me, my second to better half co-worker, the other BT, Miss Remy. What's up, girl? Okay, she's quiet, y'all. So anyway, and then a little further more to the left, still to the right, to my engineer, Mr. Brown here, the queen herself. Everybody give it up for Miss Mullins. Hey. Correction, hold on, let me correct myself. Mrs. Mullins.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, nice touch, Mr. Brown.
And this is, I'll say it one more time, GCA Let's Talk.
Let's talk.
This is the staff edition. We want to do. During this topic, we want to basically talk about what we expect from the podcast, the reason why we set up the podcast, the importance of our kids having a voice in this school so they can build up, so they can end up having a voice in this world. With that being said, Ms. Kochi, what do you want to talk about? Why do you choose this topic, ma'am?
So I'm real excited about the podcast. It's something I've been talking about for a long time with some of my friends. You gotta turn me down. I'm too loud. So some of the topics I'm really excited about are just the things that I talk about every day with the kids in our classes, and I'm sure everyone else would agree. We got a lot of information from each of you giving us input from conflicts, bullying, harassment, success, confidence, anger, all these things. Those are the things you want to talk about. You come out and talk about those all the time with us, but we want to give you an avenue to really get your voice out there and hear from more than just the people that we see every day.
And with that being said, do you feel like, in this school itself, I try to hear their voices as much as I can. Unfortunately, I'm all over the place. I see you, you take them out. I know you take them out for lunch at times. Can you discuss that? What you guys do during the lunch period?
No offense to you all, but I think I have the best job there is in the building because I get to talk about the kids, the stuff they want to talk about. So that's why I really enjoy it. But so my typical day, I start with going into classrooms for second step where our topics are goal setting, conflict resolution, bullying, and emotional regulation and things like that. So I go in, push in for that in the morning. Then after that, I make my attendance calls. And then I have what we call Naviance, which is a program for college and career readiness. But in that program, students are learning about identifying with themselves, learning about what their traits are that make them unique, what type of things they might want to do in the future with those traits in mind, what their passions are. I really like asking the question of what's something you want to change in the world, because when we ask that, then we can really see where their passions are and how they might impact our future generations, which to me is so important. So I know that each and every single one of our kids has a journey and they're going through it right now. We could all probably talk for hours about all the challenges that everyone's facing in this day and age. So social media and all the things that have changed so drastically since COVID. So I think that giving them that avenue during lunch to set goals together with their peers that they might not normally get along with and talk about some of the things that they're really struggling with. So I have a boys group, we talk about some anger, conflict. My girls group is talking about self-confidence right now and how they can really know who they are. So when they start getting into relationships, which is what I'm doing with 7th and 8th grade, they'll have a better idea of who they are before they put themselves into a relationship that's not healthy. So
I know you started off as a teacher, and you grew up in this neighborhood.
Yes, I did.
And now you are the vice principal here. We're glad to see you. There have been significant changes in this school.
Oh, thank you.
And part of that is thanks to you. You and Casey do make a great team. I'm not saying that because
I love him as a teammate.
And I'm not saying that because I want to raise that every year. Can you just tell me some of the challenges you haven't met as a transition from being a teacher onto the principal, onto a VP?
I would say bird's eye view. Now, the difference between being in a classroom and actually being an assistant principal is you have a bird's eye view, which means I can't just see what's right in front of me in my own classroom. I have to see everything, the whole school view. So I'm kind of up here looking down on everything. It's a wider scope that you have to cover, right? You can't just think about how you feel, my students in my classroom, my families in my classroom. You have to think about the whole system together. You have to think about every classroom, every teacher, every student, every family, right?
Climate and culture of the whole school.
Yes, the climate and culture of the whole school is very important. As far as my most challenging part of my transition, I would say I'm teaching, like actually, doing a lesson. I do miss it, and it's something that I do want to still do as an assistant principal. Like I discussed pulling my own group for the intervention block and doing my own reading group, because I miss teaching reading. I miss doing small group activities. I do miss that aspect.
Now, what's the intervention block? Can you explain that to the listeners?
So the intervention block is called When, What I Need. And during that intervention block, every student is focusing on what they need. So in science and math, they're focusing on math. So they focus on getting, their Zern lessons done, which are differentiated to their level. Teachers are pulling small groups to work on them with skills that they need help in with math, or enrichment, extending. If they're already doing well in something, extending that. How can we go further with it? In ELA and social studies, it is reading intervention. So doing their Reading Plus lessons, their Lexia Power Up lessons, and teachers pulling small groups to work with those students on a focused literacy strategy. Right now, we're working on main idea and citing evidence.
Okay. And Ms. Koshi, I'm waiting for Remy to get back. I do want to talk to you about students finding their identity.
Yeah.
Now, I know you briefly talked about you were a teacher as well.
Yes, I taught for 10 years in the city as well, and I was a math teacher. I taught for 6 years at the high school, and then 4 years at the middle school, and 2 years actually in the elementary school doing STEAM lessons. And so I have that kind of broad scope like Ms. Mullings was speaking of, because from there I transitioned into math coaching, which is more of a leadership role from the district lens. I'm going into different schools supporting teachers with instructional practices, and actually I can relate to Ms. Mullings on how you really miss the students. You have to look back at like the core of why you went into what you're doing. And that's what I kind of try to talk to the students about, is like, I knew from a very young age that I wanted to see something change for the youth of tomorrow, and
That's
working
deep, Ms.
directly
Goldman.
with them. I miss that so much working in leadership. So
Now, is that where the identity part comes into play?
wow, you're getting deep here.
Right?
So
This was just supposed to be
me
get to know us a little
personally,
bit.
yeah. So for me personally, I would say my identity has been formed and shifted, and I think that's the best way to look at it, is that we are all capable of being lifelong learners and really growing and changing every day, and making that choice to enter a conversation with the lens of hearing what the other person's saying and being able to be willing to change our own actions. So when I talk to students about identity, I really ask them the questions like, what are the biggest challenges you've faced? What are some things that stress you out? I did personality type assessments with the students that help them to identify 5 strengths and 5 areas they need to grow. And I think that supports them in seeing how they interact better with others, and then what might be possible things they want to do for their future.
Had there been, you said 5 strengths and 5 strengths and 5 weaknesses?
Yep.
Had there been a common core that you found with the group, with members?
A trend.
Trend, yes, correct. Trend.
That's a really good question. I did see, I wish I had the data in front of me, and maybe that's something we talk about another day, is personality. But I did see that a lot of our students seem to think that personality was something that was right or wrong. For example, any introverts here? Anyone an introvert? All right, so Mr. Montgomery,
Definitely not me.
Mr. Brown, I know you and I are exextroverts, Ms. Mullings and I.
Yeah, at that time you two talked to me, and I
I
got
know,
beeline
right?
to the office. Please.
See how long it takes me to get them out.
So I try to show the students, though, that's not a right or wrong. You might, it might be different from someone else, but that doesn't make it right or wrong. It's actually a strength, because what you bring to the table is different than what we bring, right?
Yes.
So that one thing I noticed was we have a lot of introverts who other people think that they just don't talk or they're shy or maybe they don't have a personality, and that's not the case at all. It's just different. And so looking at what that means for each student.
Could that also be, I mean, we have very young children here. I mean, they are children. Could it be that they're still trying to find their voice?
Absolutely.
And that go for that's a question for you and Mrs. Mullen. Do you feel like they're still trying to find their voice here?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, you say identity, I'm thinking.
I mean, I know adults still trying to find their voices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, psychologically, up until the age of 25, your brains are still developing, and there's neuroplasticity in our brain where we can make connections throughout our entire lifetime that will create changes where we are going to still grow and develop our identity. Like I would say I'd go back to like when you go into a conversation, if you have an open mind, your willingness to change your own behavior in it, then you are going to see your identity shift over time. And personalities can change a little bit. Personalities tend to stay pretty consistent unless a traumatic event has taken place.
Okay.
And trauma can be a lot of things. It's just something that is life altering. So
Everyone, Miss Remy says she's nervous.
I would like to
here.
I would actually like to talk to you about some of the activities that you do with your students to get a connection with them. I know you do snack times, lunch bunch, correct?
Lunch bunch groups are coming.
Can you tell me that how the plan of that go about?
Okay, so as you guys know, I'm the behavior technician on one of them, and after the new year, I plan to have lunch bunches with the students. So I'll take a few students and we'll talk about anything we want to talk about. We can play games, we can listen to music, but it's just lunch bunches, so we don't have to sit in the cafe and, you know, just something different, you know, and just to grow relationships with the students. Aside from lunch bunches, I also want to pull students I already have helpers, so a lot of you know that, you know, I'll just come randomly and pull you out of class, just to help me with anything that I need help with. For example, the Christmas tree. But that is another thing that I am working on.
And what is your goal with these programs you're putting together?
My goal is really to just decrease the behaviors for our tier 3 students, and just to, like I said, number one is just cutting me off.
Well, I'm sorry, my apologies. Is how sometimes you do that. Can you explain? Only that I'm listening, so you got other listeners that don't go to the school. Can you explain about some of the what is tier 3?
So tier 3 students it could be different things for tier 3. It could be attendance, like students who are not always here, which is what we are working on as well. That's why we get so many. We call home every day, you guys know, with the ACE meetings. But for me, it's behavior. So the students who, you know, get kicked out of class often,
being disruptive,
right?
Disrespectful.
Right. So those students who we always hear on the walkie-talkie, those students are always with Mr. Brown in reset. We are trying to decrease those behaviors. So taking them out of class and just, you know, we don't know what's going on at home. So we can't always say, you know, we can't always blame the students. Like I said, we don't know what's going on. And it's just, we try to make school a safer place, and just to show them that we do care, you know, taking them out of class, helping them out, showing them that, you know, it's not just about work, and us being strict all the time. You know, you can come out of class and we can do this. You can help me with the younger kids downstairs, or you can help me build a Christmas tree, or you can help me, I don't know, anything that I feel I can use some help.
Now, I know you're doing programs. We are both doing programs where our students. Have you been seeing changes in personality and behavior?
Oh, for sure. Miss Mullings can tell you, because we work with the students often. Sorry, Miss Mullings is taking selfies while we're in middle of the podcast.
Capture the moment, guys.
Yeah,
we gotta be present. We need a mindful minute here.
All right.
But
okay, I'm back.
I just lost my train of thought.
I don't blame you.
Oh, how about
Can I just say I'm loving
behavior?
this? I'm just loving this
No, this is
opportunity to
great.
talk to you guys and
Yes.
hear thoughts. And I'm thinking we should just do this weekly. Like,
No, this is fun.
Our students and our
Instead
parents.
of our meeting, we should just do
Yes.
this for our meeting.
Because the training was really easy. I know how to do everything now.
Right. And shout out to
Like,
Mr. Brown. He
shout
looks
out to
so
Mr. Brown.
official.
Do the noise, do the
Lifelong
noise, do the
learner.
noise, Mr. Brown.
Yeah. He sounds so official, but
I'm gonna have so much fun editing this. Okay.
I can't wait to learn how to. That's what I want to learn how to do.
Yes.
Oh,
and I
Yeah.
think that
Can't
should be
wait.
something
Y'all
else
will
you
learn
teach us.
that.
Yeah, that's the
Yes,
next
and the
step.
kids too.
Yes.
I
Yeah, we
think
talked
that's
about that, yep.
great.
Yes.
I have a
think so,
few
too.
kids that actually talked about that in their process of what they want to do for their future was
Yes.
about editing.
Yes.
And also, like, sorry to cut you off.
No,
I'm not sorry.
No,
But also, like, a big thing now is like TikTok, and you have to know how to edit for TikTok. You
Yeah,
know,
that's why I don't have any videos, Miss Remy. My videos are very boring, my husband said.
And that's
So-
why you got no views.
Yep.
Ooh, Miss Coty throwing shots.
I have no views, I'm telling you.
Me
And
neither.
then
I don't post.
I look at my husband's video. I'm like, how did you put these together?
Right?
Like, how'd you make the sound? and the
Yeah.
swoosh. And the, oh my
Yep.
gosh.
And you
so
gotta go
jealous.
into the different. You know, you just can't have a long
Yeah,
video
just
of
one video.
Yeah. So
With that being said, I know is that we are implementing social. I know we got so much time.
Yes, we have social
I
media.
know we
coming.
got some of the goals that you guys want to use with social media to implement, to include with this, with the students.
I would love to see these on a social media page, like an Instagram, a TikTok, even a Snapchat. If we had one that each of us had access to as adults that we could post on for the kids, I truly believe that we could make some content that these kids would be excited about. I mean, we have the dance coming up this Friday. We have the auction coming up the following Friday. We have a lot of really exciting events happening that families could even get involved with, you know, following the pages if we're posting these things that are happening already for our students. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Definitely want to get our families more involved. Like, more events, more student incentives. We want to be doing something every week for our students to look forward to. We have some really great programs going on right now.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up now, guys. But once again, this is GCA Let's Talk, episode 1. And until next time, people.
Let us know what you want to hear.
Yes, we have an email that I'm setting up. Also, you know, we will have all the other social media tidbits coming up very soon. And until next time, take care. Peace.
Do we have like an outro song like peace? Like something like peace, love, and hair grease.
We'll
like
work.
no?
We'll work on it.
Okay.
one.
We gotta come up. I haven't heard that in a while, Mr. Brown. She said one.
I'm taking my
Okay.
headphones
All our
off.
parents will know. That's how we used to say.
We
peace.
out.
We out.
We out.
All
A-Town.
right. Love you guys.
That was.
That was so much fun.
That was